Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I am going to be doing a video with you guys today that is going to be cleaning my nail desk. I thought it would be a really good idea to do a deep cleaner on my desk just to get out all that extra dust that ends up in those cabinets. If you guys are a nail tech, you guys already know how much dust kind of gets all over everything, so I'm just going to show you guys what I do to deep clean my desk. If you guys have any tips down below on things that maybe I could do different, go ahead and comment down below, just because sometimes, you know, like you just don't really think about some of the stuff that you need to do, but I like to just pull everything out and go from there. And it has a lot of the stuff right here. I ended up spilling resin, tried to pick it up with a paper towel, and that didn't go so well. So the top of the desk is something that I am going to be cleaning last. And I want to make sure I get all these marks off of my lamp. It doesn't necessarily need to be cleaned. The tops of the cabs I am going to be wiping down. But I might film a little bit of it, but not too much. And then we might be, these polishes are already organized. So this is something that I don't need to really do, because not really any nail dust gets into these cabinets. This one definitely needs to be organized. There's so many different things in here. The drawers are they're too close together to fit these just because they are so long. And then this drawer, everything just needs to be cleaned out. I have them in tubs, so it kind of makes it easier to take everything out and clean out. And I want to wipe down all of my products, especially in this drawer. This drawer, everything gets sticky just because of the top coats and whatnot. So we want to make sure those are nice and clean. And then this drawer, the glitter spills kind of everywhere, and I just need to organize it just because this basket is usually like a basket that is my go-to for each season. So I'll put all of my stuff that's for that season in this basket. Right now it's kind of just miscellaneous, so yeah. And then there's just glitters under there. And then this drawer is something that I definitely need to deep clean just because it's a hot mess. And then this one, I just need to put everything back in its place just because it's kind of crazy. And I need to organize all these wires. So, alright, so the first thing I did was getting acetone. And I ended up putting this first actually just so it could soak. Just because this is where the resin had fallen all over my desk. So I wanted to make sure I got it all over. And then I was just going to let that sit for around 10 minutes. And make sure you wear gloves when you're cleaning this up, or if you have sensitive hands. Okay, and then next I ended up pulling out this drawer, and I really need to clean this drawer because this is one that I always end up going to when I am doing nails. So this is like my most used drawer, that's why it's my top drawer. So I have all my drill bits, my gel top coats, matte top coats, acrylic, and all my stuff to prep the nails. And so look at that bottom of that. It was very, very dirty. So I ended up taking all that dust out and wiping it down with a wipe. And these are disinfectant wipes that I am using. And then I had also wanted to wipe down my tools. I ended up using rubbing alcohol before I wipe them. And then after, I'm going to put them in the barbicide. And so if you guys follow me on TikTok, I do have a video showing how I do my barbicide if you guys are interested in that. It's just a real quick video. Or if you guys want me to make a video, go ahead and comment down below and we could get that done for you. It'll just end up being a very, very quick video just because there's hardly anything to it. So those are going to sit for 10 minutes while I clean out this drawer. And so I'm just organizing all of the stuff that doesn't go in here and that needs to be thrown away or just needs to be wiped up. The bottom of it does have gel on it, and then some of my products had kind of melted the plastic before. So if you guys notice that it looks like as if it's not completely clean, that's just the only reason why, is because some products had melted the bottom of this basket. And so now that I have that all wiped down, I'm going to wipe down each product because these things are filthy and covered with monomer and the powder itself. So this one it didn't really want to get that clean just because the acrylic was stuck on there. I would end up having to soak it in acetone, and I was afraid that the acetone might make the container worse than what it was. So I didn't want to melt the product. So next I wanted to take out all of these just because dust gets at the bottom of those. This one wasn't as bad as the first one, but I still wanted to wipe it out even though and make sure it was nice and disinfected. Even though it is top coats, I still wanted just to make sure that it was nice and clean. So I ended up wiping each top coat, so that's just all you're going to see me doing right now. There was a lot of residue on them just because with gel coats, I don't know why, but they seem to get dirty really, really fast. So if you see some of my videos, sometimes my top coats, they are clean, but sometimes they end up just getting sticky just because I end up getting the top coat on my gloves. So I tried to wipe them down with a Lysol wipe, but that didn't work, so I ended up having to use rubbing alcohol. And the rubbing alcohol took it right off. So even if you notice, like with nails, you could take rubbing alcohol and I'll take the dispersion layer off. Same with this. So it took it off really easily. Some of the product on these bottles were a lot more stubborn than others, but you could see how dirty some of the products were. Like that one was very, very dirty. So I was just spraying the rubbing alcohol on them just to make sure I get all of that off. And that was just me showing you guys how better it looks just because it was that one in particular, it was very, very bad. So I'm just after I'm done with this, I am just organizing them into which one that I use most often, and then that's where I end up putting the ones that I don't use as often towards the back. These are all my go-to, so that's why they are in the top drawers. So those are something that I use often. And then this, you could see that is my pH bonder. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but this thing was dirty. I feel like the light kind of oversaturated some of the clips, so please excuse that. I'm still getting used to this camera, so it's kind of hard to know which lighting works best and you're actually able to see things without them looking so blown out, because I feel like far away it looks perfect, but up close you can't really see anything just because of how blown out it is. And so far, I've been using these gloves, and the black ones I get from Salon Centric. I don't know exactly what brand they are, but those are the ones that I've been using that acetone doesn't go through them so far. But the clear ones on the other side, acetone does go straight through those, but the only good thing about them is that they have the powder on them, and they don't allow me to sweat. But in this clip, you'll see me putting all those things back into the little baskets, and then taking all my tools out of the quats and putting them on a paper towel so any of that extra water could just drip on that paper towel. And then I'm going to go ahead and wipe them down and then put them back into this little basket. So I know with Skateboard you are supposed to be having these covered, but for me this is easier for me, and I do have the drawer that ends up pushing back in, so everything is technically covered. But if you guys are in a salon, just know that this is most likely not Skateboard approved just because you have to have it covered. Okay, so I had forgotten about these drill bits. You could see all that dust in there from the acrylic. I just wanted to wipe that out really, really well, just because I didn't want, I was trying to eliminate as much dust as I can since I was doing this deep clean. And then I ended up spraying them with rubbing alcohol to clean them. And then even if you guys wanted, you guys could put these in barbicide also. But I want to get another container to do that, just because with the barbicide container that I have, everything will drop to the bottom and then I'll have to kind of fish everything out. So this is what the drawer looks like after I am all done with it. All the caps are nice and clean and everything was ready to go. So I went ahead and put that back. So I ended up cleaning out these little baskets. This drawer, it didn't really need that much work. To you guys, it might seem very messy, but to me, I have it the way I need it. So everything I had cleaned out in this drawer probably a week prior to me going on maternity leave. So it was already pretty organized. It was just these baskets that needed to be updated, and then any of the products that I felt like needed to be wiped down, I ended up wiping them down, especially where I keep my crystals, just because those containers seem to get the resin and stuff on them, so I just wanted to make sure to get that off as much as I could, or if there was any gel polish that was stuck to it or anything, I wanted to take that off. So with this drawer, since it is my art drawer, it did take me a while to kind of figure out something that works for me. So I have all my glitters stacked to one side, and then after I have all of my smaller things like the decals and whatnot. Those I keep in a little basket, and so this basket is basically all of my new stuff and all of my things that like what I feel like is trending at the time, or things that like are in that season. So if it's like spring colors, I'll end up putting all the spring stuff in there, or if it's Christmas, I'll end up putting all my reds, golds, and all of that sort of thing, just so it's easier for me to get and I know where it's at. And then after I put all of my old stuff just down at the bottom, so that's what you're seeing me do right now, is just organizing my stuff and seeing what needs to go in the basket and what is going to go on the basket underneath. The underneath basket is just the stuff that I'm not going to be, or I don't see myself using. I might use it, but I just like to keep this on top, just because if I keep digging through the bottom basket, everything kind of just falls out just because there's so much of it. So I just kind of wanted to put them all up at the top. Okay, so next is this drawer, and this drawer looked like a tornado hit it. So this was one that I really, really wanted cleaned and wiped down, just because all the products kind of seemed yucky to me. So I ended up wiping all of the stuff down with the disinfectant wipes, just to make sure there was no germs on any of the stuff that I constantly have to grab. So I had wanted just to make sure that all of this was nice and clean. So I was wiping down the tracks that were inside of the nail dust, just because I felt like they were a little bit dusty in there. So in between each drawer, I did wipe them down. I just wasn't able to get any clips of it. So in that clip, you're able to see me actually do it. So some of the products I was also getting rid of, like that OPI matte top coat, just because some of the products in here, since they're in the back, sometimes I forget about them and I don't use them. This little area that I have, it's kind of just all of the stuff that, this is another drawer that I grab for a lot. So I keep my monomer in here and my liquids, so like if it's for my primers and stuff, and then restock, I keep those in there as well. And then this is like the resin activator. So this drawer, I kind of also keep it for like my tools and stuff. This is a card showing Safari nails. If you watch my last video, that Montage nail supply, it used to be called Safari nails, but now it is Montage. So I just thought it was kind of funny that I had that card still, just because it's been forever since they have changed their name. And so I was just wiping down that basket, cleaning everything off. And then that was like a practice nail tip that I would always use, and it has like a removable tip on it. And then these are keys for the actual desk. So you guys could see how much dust ended up coming out of this drawer, because this is one of my drawers that I use a lot. The drawers that I use a lot, you guys could kind of see that those ones are the dirtiest ones. So I kind of want to make sure that I'm keeping everything nice and clean and wiping all that dust down. And then this drawer, it was also stained at the bottom from products that I have had in there. It ended up messing up the plastic. So I ended up hurrying up and putting everything back in this basket just because it was taking a little while. So you could just see me finishing up putting my nail tips back in this drawer. I like keeping them at the front just because it's easy access. These were my dotting areas, so I like to put paint on the back of here and then wipe, or I would use it for designs. That's what I'm trying to say. So you could see that there was a lot of paint on here. This was long overdue that I needed to wipe this down. So yeah, I'm finally getting around to this, because every time that each one of these little cards would fill up, I would just end up pulling out another one and using that one. So I just wanted to take the time to finally clean these off. I was also thinking about maybe getting one of those little tile things and putting the little dots of polish and stuff that I need on there. If you guys have any recommendations, please, again, comment down below. I would greatly appreciate it, just because I don't really know what to use. I've seen some people use like those stones, like where they look like little coasters, but yeah, so hopefully maybe I'll be able to find a cute one like that, but we will see. And right here you could see me just scraping off some polishes, just because those were gel polishes. They weren't regular polishes, and so it was pretty stuck on there, and I just wanted it to be nice and clean, and I wanted to make sure I scraped everything off. And you could see on this one was bad as well. So we're just going to go ahead and clean this one up. Alright, and so this is what the drawer looked like. Sorry I couldn't really get it in frame that well. But now I am cleaning off all of my brushes, just because the handles, they kind of get filled with paints and whatnot. So I wanted to make sure I wiped those down really, really good with rubbing alcohol and a little bit of acetone for some of them. And then even these handles from the acrylic brushes, since where my monitor rests in the container, it does get a lot of stuff on there from it. So I was showing you guys right there how dirty it really looked. So I wanted to wipe that down, and I ended up wiping them down with acetone. And then this is my 3D nail art brush that I was wiping down. I was trying to get those rubber bands in the right place, but I could not get them back in the right place for the life of me. So I just ended up leaving them, and then cleaning my dotting tools, and then my little baster thing. I think that's what it's called. And then this is another acrylic brush. If you guys also have recommendations for other acrylic brushes, these are Kolinsky hair brushes. And these ones, I had them for a really long time, but I know it is time to upgrade. I do want a bigger size. I believe these are size 12, and I think I'm just long overdue for a bigger brush. So if you guys have any recommendations, please comment down below and let me know what you guys use, and maybe different sizes that you guys also would like. I don't know how big is too big if you are going from a size 12 to the next sizes up, just because I know some of them are really big, but I feel like if I did do a bigger brush, I feel like it would speed up my acrylic time. So I hope that I know it might take me a little while to adjust to it, but I'm hoping that maybe it'll help with time. Alright, so next is this last drawer. It didn't really need much. It kind of just needed some stuff shifted over to other sides. In this last drawer, I keep my nail tips, my buffers, my files, my mask, and my gloves. So I was organizing all the tips by size just so I know what sizes I have, so I don't end up overbuying when I go and get more product, and especially like because sometimes I think I don't have a size and I end up going all the way over there to my nail supply place, and I actually do have the size. Alright, you guys, so I am finally done cleaning. I ended up eating a little bit of dinner, so excuse my lipstick, it's kind of crazy right now. But I want to show you guys everything that I had did. Sorry the camera had cut out because it ended up dying, but I did end up finishing just because since I do have clients tomorrow, I wanted to be nice and clean before before I am done in this room. So